All right, guys, hope you're doing well. So, in this episode of MBNEWS, we're going to talk about aluminium and aluminium dumping. I'm dumping aluminium at the moment, I think, from CalMag, and we're going to talk about modified citrus pectin. We're going to have a look at this hair test. This hair test is from someone who was sort of stuck for a long time, and they've had a big jump. And then we're going to talk about cadmium and schizophrenia. Talk about a client of mine and his struggles with schizophrenia. All right, so let's get to it. So yeah, recently I've been feeling buzzy. Not be sleeping too well, and weirdly a little bit of EMF sensitivity from the computer. Now, and the main symptom when when you talk about what's going on is sort of an empty-headed feeling. Some people might laugh at that. Sort of a numbness, just a bit spaced out, and that is sort of like aluminum symptoms massively. One thing that we've started noticing with CalMag Fusion, if you're interested, you can pre-order it now at valencenutraceuticals.com, is that when people are taking CalMag Fusion, they're actually dumping aluminum quite a lot. This is obviously fantastic, and it seems to be happening to me as well. Um, so anyway, started dumping aluminum, I think. I started to get the heavy metal taste as well. And obviously, we've talked on recent videos about modified citrus pectin. We had Kyle Pesce on the YouTube talking about binders and what sort of binders would be useful on the program. So anyway, I thought, now's the time to shine and modified citrus pectin because even as a seasoned practitioner, there's always that little doubt in the back of your brain saying, "What is it? Is it really a toxin release? Have you ate something that you shouldn't have done, or is it something else, or whatever?" You always get little doubts. I don't know. I think everyone's like that. Anyway, so I ended up taking 3.2 milligrams of this modified citrus pectin. So I took 4 capsules. Within 20 minutes, the symptoms had basically gone. So this is a massive, major change for anyone that's that a lot of practitioners, including myself, obviously used to work for Dr. Wilson. He never really recommended binders because some of them have sort of aluminum in them, so that clays and whatnot, and some of them can remove healthy minerals. I don't think he was aware of modified citrus pectin. I'm not sure how old it is. Anyway, this is new product from what I can gather, and I've taken it and it's brought me back down to normal. So this is massive, really, because one of the biggest reasons why people quit the program is because of detox reactions. So, like I've been struggling now with this aluminum dump for 3 days. I didn't really take much notice of it for the first two, but especially this morning, I ended up taking the morning off because it was really quite bad. And I went down to the local sauna, had a sauna, had a bit of a swim, had a bit of a relaxation, and then it sort of clicked. Oh my God, because I've been taking CalMag Fusion for quite a while, but then it clicked because I've been seeing the CalMag Fusion and the aluminum increases on the hair test, and I was like shit. I think CalMag Fusion is actually making me dump aluminum. Um, so that was the conclusion that I've reached. And then obviously we've been talking about modified citrus pectin. I've actually been recommending it to people, but I've not actually gone for a dump yet to try it myself. And now I've tried it, fantastic, unbelievable. So that is a major, major improvement that I've made to the program. I know the practitioners who use binders, but that was a major breakthrough. So moving on, this is like a sort of a client of mine that I've known for quite a long time. He struggled in the past with marijuana use. He struggled in the past with other things like, sexual fluid loss, that sort of stuff. And I've always felt with this guy, although he's really, really committed to the program, does a fantastic job, sort of holds himself back a little bit, understandably because of previous trauma, which I'm not going to get into, but holds himself back a little bit with bad habits, especially the marijuana, etc. And I think finally he decided to, quit the thing, quit the stimulants. As you can see in his previous test, this is a report from hairanalysis.report. If you do want one, go and check out that website. In his previous test, he was in a 4-low pattern. And, I've seen a lot of his tests. He's always sort of been in a 4-low pattern, sometimes fast oxidation, but never really dumped anything. And recently he's been like, something's going off, something's not right. And, this is his recent test. And wow, what a difference. We've got a massive amigo dump. Aluminum, iron, manganese. Iron's up by 250%, manganese 250%. Aluminum's gone up by 722%. Absolutely insane, insane. Well, big amigo dump. What's that done? Well, it's pushed his body into fast oxidation. He's gone into a stress response because of the overwhelm of the toxins. The adrenal glands have gone into an extreme adrenal stress because of this dump. And his zinc has dropped a lot. I know he's struggled a lot with retaining zinc. So his body's holding on to zinc in order to deal really with this amigo dump. So really, this individual needs to get himself on fast oxidation program, stress pack, zinc to help reduce this big NAK, elevated NAK ratio. And yeah, he also would be, in my opinion, it would be great for him to take something like modified citrus pectin, or ZO charge, just to keep a lid on things. Whenever someone goes into fast oxidation from a 4-low pattern, they usually will go back into 4-lows, so that's probably going to happen. But yeah, that's fantastic. And yeah, also, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on here. And this individual, we have also created an advanced hair analysis report. So for anyone that doesn't know, hairanalysis.report now, you can get advanced reports. So these are basically other patterns that are just not talked about as much. And there's about 100. I've got put about 100 on there, but I'm going to be adding more. I haven't added every single one of them yet, but I've added 95%. But this individual actually had 6 advanced patterns show up. And whenever a client is going through a situation like this, although the hair test, kind of looks good because they're moving forwards, they're obviously feeling quite traumatized. Well, they're feeling, well, yeah, traumatized sometimes because they just don't know what's going on until the hair test comes. When the hair test comes, usually they feel much better because they can see what's actually making them feel so horrendous. They obviously think that things are getting worse, etc., etc. So actually, when they see a hair test like this, it can make them feel much better. And obviously, people want to hear positive things. So they ended up having six positive patterns on the advanced retest. So we've got an amigo doubling, so at least 2 of the amigos double on a retest. So really, all of the amigos have doubled. Some of them, the aluminum especially, emerging from the abyss. So this is one when a 4-low pattern disappears on a retest. Indicates person is working their way out of 4-low pattern. Emotional outburst patterns. You might think that, why is an emotional outburst a positive pattern? Well, it actually is, because some people are actually holding on to emotions because their body can't actually process them. When the body gets enough energy to do so, big shifts happen on a test, and the person can sometimes lash out emotionally, with anger, with pent up emotions that the body literally just has had to put a lid on. And so we actually see that as a positive thing. So a lot of people have got a lot of pent up emotions, that they want to deal with. One individual, I recall was had a really bad flatmate and couldn't tell the flatmate all of the annoying things that they was doing, that they was acting in a way that was not healthy, and the individual couldn't say anything to them because of the pattern that they was in. All of a sudden they had a big shift, similar to this, not so dissimilar. They had some emotional outburst patterns, and they got it all off the chest. Yeah, maybe anger comes out, but actually that's needed sometimes. So that was another positive pattern on the advanced pattern. And everything coming out pattern. This is actually part of the main report, to be honest, and everything coming out pattern. But what's not part of the main report is a grand detox. This individual's not showing a grand detox, but you can see that now on this advanced pattern. Getting help. So this is a fairly common pattern, but not on the main report that we've got. So this is when the magnesium increases by quite a lot, and then another pattern, getting one's life back. So it's a combination of out of 4 lows, an amigo dump, and 9 or more anchor patterns. So yeah, 6 positive patterns came up on the advanced report, which is fantastic. So if you are a practitioner and you do want an advanced report, check it out, hairanalysis.report. Unfortunately, you can't get advanced reports if you're not a practitioner. If you do want one, give me a shout. I might be able to sort you out with one of those. And then finally, I was really happy about a client that's sort of worked with me and Susan for quite a long time. Unfortunately, has schizophrenia, and he mentioned to me recently that he had a cadmium dump and the voice has reduced. And yeah, me and Susan have actually said to him for a long time that we probably think that the cause of this is metals, notably copper. But when I find, when it comes to schizophrenia and dark voices and darkness in general, it's generally linked to cadmium and lead, more of the heavier ones. And it's nice to hear that he's actually got a reduction in his schizophrenia. There are some studies on this, so clotho levels, association of clotho levels with serum copper and cadmium levels in schizophrenia. Yeah, this is a little study that showed that this particular protein is reduced in people who've got schizophrenia and cadmium exposure. This protein is needed for healthy emotional health, brain development, etc. So there could be a link there. There's a few other ones here. The association of toxic heavy metals with schizophrenia. So this study here talks about cadmium and how people who've got schizophrenia tend to have higher levels of cadmium, lead, arsenic, etc., compared to studies of people, of healthy people that don't have schizophrenic, schizophrenia. So quite a few there to get your teeth into. It's quite well known that cadmium has neurotoxic effects. So yeah, here's a nice study on cadmium and neurotoxic effects on the brain. But yeah, not a lot of people are actually aware of cadmium with schizophrenia. There's not that many studies, but there are a few, which is nice to see. All right, guys, so that's everything. Go and get the CalMag Fusion if you want to get your aluminum dropped. It's on the pre-sale at the moment, 10% off, balancenutraceuticals.com. Thanks for watching and speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.